you wanna kiki? Do you want to?
Do you wanna kiki? Do you wanna kiki? Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, 1, 2, 3. Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, Cult. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
Hey, have you bought our t-shirt yet? Seriously, go buy our t-shirt. It's gonna help us out. Just hit that QR code and you get it right now. Ooh. Welcome to Cult Wannakiki. Yes, the review show for Camp Wannakiki, episode 4 of season 5. How's my sisters doing? Ooh. All right, there's 3 of us today. Yes, they're actually in person in studio. So we don't have to even introduce our guest. Let's just all reveal ourselves at the same time.
Yeah, it's us, the Sugar Baker twins.
It's me, Hillary Yaas.
Hello.
And some sort of knight.
Eddie
And then-
Danger.
Eddie Danger! Eddie's here!
Oh my gosh, it is such a particular honor to have you here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Oh,
Yeah.
how are you?
Oh yeah, and I'm here amongst royalty. Look at this, or the royal guard rather, and this. Oh no, it is royalty. The camp sovereign and the best camper I've ever seen, Hillary Yaas.
Hey, thank you.
Clinica Deprecious. It's such an honor to be here on this show. I love Cult Wannakiki. I'm about to buy the T-shirt, by the way, but I need to figure out how to get the shipping done. But yeah, I'm all excited to be here. I watched every episode. I love this shit.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
we haven't trained the carrier pigeons, which is all of the looks from the last episode.
So we all showed up. This is the badass episode. I thought I would show up as a woman with experience because there's nothing more badass than an old person.
Yeah.
That you survived. That's
Exactly.
a survivor. Yeah, this is
I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard?
Casting spells like Rita Tarot.
That's right. Hocus pocus.
Word.
Well, you gotta come up with
I'm a knight.
some more puns to keep up.
Oh my god! Listen, the amount of times they say shuttlecock in this episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's the drinking game, really. Just like with the balls episode, everything was balls every 2 seconds.
Every time. Ball jokes are so great. Speaking of ball jokes, Eddie Danger, I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you are a world-renowned ball tease, cock tease, go-go boy extravaganza. You're a out TV celebrity because you've been on Go-Go for the Gold and Camp Wannakiki.
Thank you for noticing me. Thanks for noticing me.
You're
I've been
traveling across the Camp Wannakiki or Out TV cinematic universe. You're an established character.
You are. You have a list of like favorite episodes.
and like they have. I'm on Hey Queen too, so like that. I'm on that. I think that's on Out TV. I'm hoping. If not,
really?
sorry,
Oh
Out
my
TV.
gosh.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I do things by assignment. Like I'm a by assignment worker, and I just kind of try my hardest at whatever I'm doing. And you know what, my whole career has been more like working with drag queens and drag entertainers. So it's within that wheelhouse. So just keep me in that box, and I could do anything. You know, as long as we're having fun and things are campy and exciting and I can laugh and be around the people that I love, you know?
Yeah,
Gosh.
what is it that draws you to campy queens in particular? Because I have to say, you generally tend to drift towards us. What is it that you like about it so much?
I like fun. You know, I like to have a good time. I'm a weirdo. I grew up a weirdo. I've always been a weirdo. I don't fit in with people that are very focused on their appearance. I might look like it, but that's just the way I'm drawn. You know,
She's just drawn that way. She's just hot. She doesn't even try.
This is Shanida's gig. Eddie's not actually here. This is animated by Shanida's gig.
Thank you. Yeah, that was beautiful animation last episode also. It's that. I like to have a good time, and I like creative people, and I like people that push me in my creativity, because the second that creativity stops, then that, you know, I'm not having a good time. And I honestly, if you look at my performances, like that's very campy shit.
When you performed at the viewing party in Columbus, people were coming up to me afterwards being like, so that's why there was a cover. much.
I couldn't have missed that finale, especially when I knew you two were going to be there, and in Columbus, and I knew Riley was going to be there. Hush, hush! Nobody knew that Riley was on the next season, but I was
Yeah.
like, I get to see all these people again. Fuck yeah! And Hillary, all the way up from Canada. Like, what else is going to bring her down here? So I had to have that moment. Oh my god, I had such a good time, especially watching your acts. Hillary, your act was awesome.
I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere except with my girls. I
Aw.
mean, we had to go all the way to the top, together, and that's
Yeah.
hard. That's
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
really unique experience to watch everyone
Yeah.
just kind of lose.
Yeah, and honestly, like being in a theater watching the finale, like it just felt really legitimate. That was awesome, and thank you, Clinica, for hosting all that.
Yeah.
Like reviewing.
I have to give a shout out to the individual that made my butt dress and my seahorse outfit. Her name is Greta Goodbottom. She's a local entertainer, and she also helped organize. So she had those connections that helped me be able to have the theater show.
Do you want to get into the episode?
Yes,
Yeah.
Want to get into
that's why,
this?
that's why we're here. My bad.
So it's the badass episode. We have the opening skit when the sugar bakers are thinking about old times, and they open up their little book, and then they travel back in time to when they were, teenagers back at Camp HIIIIII, and they meet Ruthie Keister for the first time, and I thought it was really silly, and
really cute.
it really plays into the narrative that Ruthie is way cooler than the two of them, and she's the badass.
When the camera
Dear
did
Ruthie.
the hard cut to Ruthie, I had to pause the episode and oh my god, it's so good. It's been such a delight and such a great payoff. I'm really enjoying these opening scenes.
Absolutely.
I agree. Everything's been extra.
I mean, we get into the episode where we're earning our badass badge, and we're playing the most badass sport, badminton.
To be honest, I didn't understand how it fit in at the time because I didn't get the assignments. They never tell me when what tasks are going with what. So
Yeah.
I was like, we're doing a tournament. Okay, what's this for? How does this fit into the whole thing? But I'm glad they managed to work that out.
I've noticed this season we've actually had a lot of athletics so far. This has been a very sporty season.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's running around, and it happens to be the only season where we have somebody who's actually disabled
Yes.
being asked to be a part of this whole thing.
Oh,
And it's like at a certain point, how do you judge that?
I will say I was terrified when we were going to do paintball, and they didn't say it was going to be like this little weird paintball thing.
You thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be paintball, and I was like, I'm injured. Like I'm going home. Clearly, like
Yeah.
that's what I see. I
Yeah,
feel like a lot
it
of the
is.
difference between this season and our season is that this season it's like we're gonna make you all do stuff, and our season is we're going to subject you to stuff. Like you don't have to move when you're on that tube, but you will move.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah, and go flying.
We'll dip in the
But
water.
I
So getting into this badminton tournament, we start off with Dee Dee and Ms. Texas, and they're going at it. I mean, I don't know if we have to go through every round, but was there any standout moments to you in the thing?
Their competitive nature before they started playing, they almost seemed to have a little thing for each other. And I wish that they just could be as proud as they can be at Camp Wannakiki and just made out, gone to the ground, and started sock hopping.
And Rita, the witchiness. And Rita I was really surprised with Rita. She was getting some good puns in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't run out, and that's been the most fascinating part of the show so far. It's like definitely well studied in witchcraft.
So Dee Dee wins over Texas. Texas kind of foreshadowed that when she said, "I don't know. I think Dee Dee's a bit of a
Sleeper butch.
Sleeper butch." Rita wins over Girl. I'm not surprised because Rita's a competitive witch who casts spells on people. And
She said Monday one, yeah.
And she saw it coming, so she read the cards.
She's like Raven Simone. Oh, and I forgot Muffy and Riley. Muffy and Riley competed in round one, and Muffy beat Riley. Sorry about that, Clinica.
Oh,
Yeah, I took that as a personal offense.
but there was a moment where Justice for Dixie, hashtag Justice for Dixie, came in because and that was my another cameo by yours truly when I got to catch the Dixie crystal spatchcock, or is that what it's called?
Shuttlecock.
The cutter shot.
And I just got back from Dixie's house, so I would catch those balls again. Let me tell you.
And Tara wins over Avery, given that Avery is unfortunately unable to play. Let's talk about that. Avery reveals this episode, because we have heard that has a disability, but now it's kind of really affected her game. She has a neuromuscular thing. I don't know what it is specifically, but it specifically comes out and kind of paralyzes her when it's cold. And it was a very cold day.
It was. And when you saw me doing those yoga stretches and all that, I was freezing my balls off. Now,
picture Ranger Danger here. Yeah. Oh, great. I have them all. I took photos of them all. You were very heavily featured this episode, and it was great.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank God, because I was out there shivering for hours and hours because, listen, this is ideal for drag, but not ideal for a boy whose package is ever shrinking because of the weather.
It makes me happy to hear that Avery still made it through the episode and it wasn't, and nothing was held against her. And that goes to show the accommodations there. And also in a world where drag is just so incredibly saturated, we're competing against millions, thousands of other drag queens, and we feel like we have to constantly be in the limelight and whatnot. Sometimes it feels like you have to break your body to be seen. You have to overwork yourself to be seen. So to see an entertainer putting down boundaries for themselves and that being respected and that not ending up going against them.
Boundaries are important, and I'm glad that Camp Wannakiki is respecting the boundaries. We move on to round two. We've got Dee Dee versus Rita, and Rita wins again.
It was in the cards. I also love that when she said that to Ruthie, you could read Ruthie's face. She had no idea what Rita was talking about.
Then we've got Tara versus Muffy, and Tara beats Muffy, and Muffy, of course, is a very competitive person. Is a little upset.
Has to relinquish her high school title as the badminton champ.
That leads us to the big game, which is between Tara and Rita, which is very competitive. Who did you have your money on when this started?
Are you talking to me? And girl mentions that in the rec room.
The rec room.
When they're saying, "Oh, well, we didn't know if we should be funny or and entertaining, or should we have been competitive?" And I'm not sure what the answer is. No.
I don't think. I also don't think they knew that there was going to be an immunity badge of sorts, and I feel like that would change the game and change the approach on any challenge.
Well,
but
they seem not to know.
I wish that someone at some point playing an activity challenge would just turn and look at the camera and just be like, "I'm doing this for a blue box on the wiki."
It was, of course, Rita who prevails, and she also gives us the second monkey of the season. And she wins the immunity badge, which we were talking about. They didn't know that they were playing for that. And she has the first immunity badge in Camp Wannakiki history. Wow.
They've given immunity, but never an immunity badge. Because if they did that one before, I believe Queen Faraz from Watersport. I'm such a fan of the show. Queen Faraz. Yeah, Queen Faraz won immunity at the Water Sports Talent Show of season 3.
That's right. And she had a bad look that episode, I think, too, and got saved, right?
They told her, thank your lucky stars.
Well, shall we get into the looks? The theme is badass. Badass. We've got the Sugar Bakers marching it onto the stage with their Dom sub, I think you call it, and oh my goodness, we were take the mask off, and it's none other than Ranger Danger crying for help. Please, somebody help me! The Sugar Bakers have captured me.
And are running me around as a pup, and meanwhile I'm taking a piss on Cherry's leg.
I saw that.
And I have to say, so we're going to focus on positive. I want to make this clear, actually, before we get really into it. But we're going to change up our approach to reviewing the looks just a little bit. We're going to focus on positive.
I consulted with the most congenial person that we know, and Paula Frost offered up an idea that I feel like you and I would both
love
really vibe
Paula.
with, and it's the idea of amp and revamp. So what do we amp about a look, and what do we want to revamp about the look?
Well, we start with Dee Dee Comeswell dressed up as a fucking donkey.
Oh, this one excited me because I feel like when you receive, if a Camp Wannakiki camper receives badass as the prompt, this is what I immediately expect. And
I
I love Dee Dee's approach. Dee Dee is also such a transformative artist, always does something crazy with her makeup, and always does something crazy with her shoes. Flapjack pointed that out last time, and that continues
Best
strong in this
shoe
episode.
game ever.
I love Donkey Zuko also.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
50s reference and the pompadour. I mean, and also the voiceover is done in a total 50s way. And again, the makeup.
Yes. I'm looking at it right now, and I don't have any notes like at all. And even I was wondering about body transformation. If I could ever say, oh well, we could amp it up with this or revamp it with this, but not even, because they have a tuft of hair, of a little fur coming out of the shirt.
I guess if there was one thing I would say to improve, I guess the idea is probably an idea that I would instantly kind of go to when I think of badass, like 50s greaser and donkey. So, and obviously, I don't know. When I heard badass, I expected everyone to come out in leather jackets, and so to see someone in a leather jacket was just kind of like, it goes with the theme. But I guess I would take like a point away just for like, maybe go one step further.
I'm looking for a belt just as like a male performer myself, and there was no belt there. So I think that would be my only revamp, is that there's no belt.
It maybe went a little bit further in that. A lot of kind of the elements of it was a combination of stuff that I expected, but because it was all a combination, I kind of overlooked it.
I'm giving it a 4 amps of camp.
I am also giving this a 4 amps.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Texas 1998.
88.
Out in a leather jacket. I thought she was just dressed as coleslaw. Come on, this is just a coleslaw moment. So gross. Does the grossest presentation ever. This is all presentation, all sass, all like punk girl with the hair. Very cool.
Yeah, and what they didn't show are the close-ups. So when Ruthie says, no close-ups, they filmed a lot of close-ups, and it was disgusting. I was standing right behind the camera, and she had that shit in her hands, and she was like, got it in her teeth, and she was displaying it. Yeah, it was very disgusting. So I'm kind of, they probably thought out TV that we can't go that far.
Just like, I love that Texas really has cracked the code on this is such a performance-based competition, and I love the way that Texas interacts with the sugar bakers. And you can tell that once she had them in the palm of her hand, it was like game over. Wish there was an element of like, because if Texas didn't have the presentation aspects and didn't have the performance aspects, I would have ranked it more on the weaker side, simply because I wish that I could just look dead on at this look and get it.
Yeah, because it's just like generic punk from a video game kind of thing.
Yeah.
We serve something that's very Seattle that, I don't know, gives us Seattle without saying it.
I think she should have pulled out a butt plug in the shape of the Space Needle.
Okay.
Yeah. But just keep pulling shit out of that ass.
For me, I would give this probably a 4 amps out of camp. Just because I do think the look doesn't necessarily speak for itself.
Yeah, I very much agree. I'm going to give it 4 as well.
I'll give it a 3.
All right. Thank you. Muffy Vanderbilt III, coming out as a badass bitch. Poodle. She took it this is Muffy's world, and she lives in a pinkening Dominic DeGrant kind of fantasy. And so she needs to do it this way. I respect that. Yeah. She's a badass poodle. I love this. She's so polished, so clean. The looks are always head to toe, just like perfection, camp, very clean.
6 nipples.
6 nipples. Right. I think for this runway specifically, and this is purely just my personal opinion, but for this runway specifically, it's not like the theme is fire, the theme is water. So we're excited to see like how you interpret this runway. But badass, I feel like, encompasses such a general style as opposed to like a prompt. And so I felt like there were a lot of people in this episode that stayed in their comfort zone. And I was hoping that more would step out of it because that feels more to what Badass is asking for. So a lot of people played with like, this is how ass is involved. This is how I am incorporating the words badass into it. And I wish that like, and I think that's one of the reasons why our top campers today were given so much praise is that they really kind of embrace that theme for like what you were saying before. Like if you're going to the show, you have a set understanding of what you want to see. And I think that they delivered that and more. And I love Muffy's look, but I think it kind of falls under what a couple of people in this runway category did, which is kind of stayed in their comfort zone.
Say that I think it's a badass move to just want to do your style. So honestly, I think it's actually kind of badass what Muffy's doing. She's like, no, this is what I do. Fuck off. And if she would have come out with that kind of energy rather than like pageant, I think she could have sold it.
If she painted differently and smiled more, this could be a gorgeous poodle, and this wouldn't be so badass. I think the note about having a knife is that like they believe, at least from the critiques, that this was a second thought and that they just had this outfit and fit it into it by way of narrative.
Yes.
It's hard because I love it. I think it's awesome and campy, but it's not really giving any iteration of badass.
I mean, not that she can change anything now, but like something that's been hamstringing Muffy for me is that she plays things a little bit too safe. And I want her to just expose herself. Eddie, just like Eddie. Eddie exposes himself. Exposes
all
stuff
the
like
time.
I give this 4 amps out of camp, and I'm taking 1 away. I would give it 5 actually because I think it's pretty, but I'm taking 1 away for that butter knife choice. That was a bad choice. Why did you take a butter knife from the kitchen and think you could get away with it? That's not. No, Muffy.
The outfit itself is so objectively beautiful. I am going to give it a 3 simply because I wish that it not meeting really the runway criteria was more intentional.
I'll give it a 4, I think. Yeah.
To Avery, good name. We've got Avery, good name, coming out as this. It's like a version of a paper cutout cowboy. Again with the makeup. I'm so glad Avery's changing up the makeup.
I love it.
And then she turns around and she's got an evil butt that she's looking for. Gotta find my evil butt, and it might be anywhere. This is a crazy concept.
I love this.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, looking for that badass. I mean, it's amazing. It's coming out of. I was hoping someone was going to do a butt look, an ass look. You know, I was really hoping, and this is just. It's so wonderful. If I was gonna camp it up, I guess. Yeah, there were maybe a couple messy edges, but I mean, the concept is so out there. It's like.
The only note I would give is make the hat as detailed as the rest of the outfit.
Yes, that is what I was going to say. The whole outfit had such... Oh, sorry. Please continue.
No.
Honestly, the whole outfit had like this like beautiful, almost like embroidering and design on it, and the hat was so simple. It almost kind of felt like you're looking at a Where's Waldo page and you just slap a big solid sticker on it. It's still a beautiful piece, but my eye is going to be drawn to the hat every time it was on screen. I also love how Avery has the common theme of when her like big old titties are not present, there's always some other jutting orbs out of her somewhere. Last week it was her birds, and now it's her butt.
I love it. 5 out of 5.
And it has a monocle. It's got a monocle on, and it's smoking a cigar. That is a badass.
We've got Rita Taro coming up, coming out as Hannibal Lecter in his custom straitjacket with a Hannibal Lecter mask thing, and also wheeling out 2 cakes. Where did she get the cakes? Did she make these?
Probably.
Did she?
I'm sure
so curious about that. I might give an extra point just for the commitment of making the cakes. I will say though, I'm going to start with my revamp. I will say though, I do feel like this one her flipping the bird was not a reach. Avery's boob look was not a reach. I think this one was a reach.
Cakes, ass cakes. That's funny. A funny double on. Yeah, I like that. I wish they were more like mounds. If they were more moundy, then we would know we were eating ass. And when she put her face in it, we would have seen the two mounds. You know,
that's such a good
like
note.
you want. But I mean, I think that would have made the spectacle of her eating the ass to really campy and weird.
But the look is pretty fun. I definitely think we could have amped it up a bit. Like if you want to eat cakes, sure. Maybe she could have been tossing some salads, sure. But I think she was really going for that chocolate poo mouth thing. And also she bribed the judges with an apple cinnamon cake. Yeah, there's definitely room to be improvement, but like it was still an overall Hannibal Lecter is a badass, but they don't like that because cosplay. So I give this a 3 amps of camp.
I'm standing next to the other runway looks. I'm gonna comparatively give this a 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
2 amps. Girl, you're lucky you were immune, honey. We've got Tara Newhole coming out as Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself. Oh my God. Yeah, the look is great. It's a sequin Ruth Bader Ginsburg with the wig, and then she reveals she's got another dress underneath with all of the different slogans, trans rights, Black Lives Matter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Both of the looks are pretty simple, but I think it's very clean, and the idea of being staunchly political and just like, you know, saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg, badass, American badass. You're lucky I know who she is. I'm Canadian. But no, but she's a badass. She was a badass bitch. So
for real.
Great choice.
Oh my gosh. I was worried at first that it was just going to be what we initially saw, because I was worried that they would be like, oh, that's cosplay, we don't like it.
Yeah.
But having the reveal and having everything underneath, it was just so brilliant. And I love that it was such like a serious, powerful message, but then she's saying stuff like spread my church and state.
The only revamp I would give is that I just don't know why it's a gold dress. I don't understand why it's gold. But if there was some intention behind what the icons were printed onto, then I think that would have sold it a little better.
I think honestly it could have been just a little more dragged up. You know, the cloak could have been a little bit bigger, a little more draggy. The dress underneath could have been a little more crazy. It's a little simple. So I'm going to give this 3 amps out of camp.
Canadian math. I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it 4.
All right. So we got Girl Haggard coming up next. Yeah. And she gives us this badass punk Tina Turner Mad Max kind of thing with mullets all over. I was really getting Tina Turner in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome from this. And I don't even know if she knew that. Because like if she would have sold it as a Tina Turner moment, like this could have been the best thing ever. I mean, also they read using the chaps as her cape, but I was like, that's very post-apocalyptic.
I think Girl's approach to what badass is authentic, and it's not in the same way that we say I'm doing a badass look, or however you say, oh, I'm doing something that's punk, without understanding what punk culture is. Yes, I think that the idea that Girl is presenting about her friends being badass, and that those chaps came from her friend who she believed was a badass, and it was a tribute. So I think in this regard, the badass aspect was a theoretical badass that I don't think really applies to a like a runway competition. I love the look, but I agree with what they were saying, that the previous outfit would have sold badass a little more.
I think especially after some of the general vibes of how we felt with Girl's last look, coming into this one, it was like a little worrying of like, ooh, Girl, you really gotta knock this out of the ballpark. Especially in the last episode, you were like afraid you were the one going home, and so you're back here for another week. Is the fight there? And I do agree with what the judges said, and I don't know, I was really rooting for Girl. I don't think I have anything original to spew out my mouth right now. I'm
No,
just
that's
kind of
fair. I don't hate the look at all. I think it's fine. I give it a 3 amps at a camp because it's cute.
I'm also going to give it a 3. I don't. I'm very neutral in this look in that I don't particularly have incredibly strong feelings about it, and I think anything I'm trying to say right now, I feel like I'm forcing it.
All right. Well, now we've got someone you will not be neutral on. It's Roily Poppyseed. Coming out as a green demon with horns and these stalactite metal cage horns and patches all over. And Clinica, you have to tell us, did he steal your pride badge just like I stole your LOL badge?
Why is everyone stealing my badges? But it is okay because I got back at him. Oh my gosh!
I stole one of Clinica's badges too because I didn't get one for some reason.
For the challenge you won?
I know. I didn't end up getting one. And I was like, I'm taking Clinica's.
Oh, that's good. Well,
Yeah,
one
there
thing
you
I
go.
noticed, though, is that these drag review shows aren't holding back in terms of bias. I was watching the Bianca Del Rio pit stop, and they are giving opinions and saying, we are rooting for this person. And every time I watch this, I'm like, they are rooting for Riley. So trend alert, drag competition shows are no longer trying to be non-biased. So.
We do know that Clinica and Riley are best friends, and that's why I've been teasing Clinica the whole time. I'm like, are you sure you want to give Riley 17 amps at a camp? Scale doesn't even go that
20.
high.
But this look certainly does deserve 20 amps out of camp because it is really fun. The makeup is incredible, and I love everything about it. Even the Gene Simmons shoes. Hell yeah. That's a badass. I love it.
Oh my gosh. You could stare at this look for so incredibly long. The details are just never ending. And I think this is a good example of like what I wanted to see from this runway without even knowing it.
Do you know what I really liked? Do you know what I really liked about it also, other than but the presentation, like Riley slowed right down and just kind of gave us this kind of like.
So happy he did that.
Because Riley is always like, woo, woo. I'm like, calm down. But like for this one, he's just this devil. And I'm just like, good. Presentation, character, costume, makeup, you got it all. It's 5 amps out of camp for me. Absolutely.
5 amps out of camp. This is so good. My revamp would be don't fucking steal from me.
So that's the talent show. Gosh, there's fewer and fewer. So these go by faster and faster.
Yeah. And
we've got the top 2 is Miss Texas and Riley Poppyseed.
Yes.
Yay.
I was surprised that Avery wasn't there. Because it was such a unique concept and it was really well done. I was surprised that they weren't in the running. But
you know, I have a feeling they wanted to give the spotlight over to somebody else because Avery so far literally has 3 wins and they're just like, oh, we have like, I mean, we might as well just hand it to her. Like, let's try and give it to somebody else this week. But yeah, Riley Poppyseed picks up the win.
Yes!
And wins $500.
That's right.
Another $500 for Columbus people. You don't need it all. Jesus, Clinica won $10,000. But now we get unfortunately the bottom 2, which is a shock of the century. Muffy Vanderbilt III and Girl Haggard, which is she's been in the bottom before.
All love to Muffy. I want to make a gif of Muffy's reaction to the reveal that she's in the bottom. Well, how do we feel about this? Do we agree with this bottom too?
You know, it's a hard, like I was saying, this is really hard. Like, I don't know if there really is a correct bottom. Maybe correct to put Muffy in the bottom right now to just light a fire under their butt. We have to say goodbye to one of them, but they're going to get eliminated and sacrificed to the god of comedy, Ruthie Keister. So before we reveal who that is, Eddie, it's been so amazing having you here.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
ton of gigs, and I just finished off in Denver with this Aerial Chains performance, and I am done. I am taking a little vacation. I'm taking a break,
good for you.
and I'm just slowing down because it has been every single weekend. I've been in a different city, and I'm just ready to cool my heels and revamp and see what's going to happen next. But that's about
check it
it.
out.
And watch Camp Wannakiki. Support Clinica and Hillary here. This Cult Wannakiki thing doesn't go unnoticed. It's amazing the fact that people are doing review shows. I'm sorry on behalf of the community and the audience for the hate that you might have been given for giving a quality show to the people, because it's ridiculous. Everybody, if you want to watch a show and you want to experience more of it, you only have the content of the show, and then what are you going to do after that? We love this shit. You want to keep hearing about your favorite performers. You go to shows like this or Flapping and Fawning to get more critiques, more perspectives, and it's even a fun way for other people to reflect on their own drag performance. I love the fact that it's known as a cult Wannakiki, because sometimes it feels like a cult to be a part of this thing. Everybody has an opinion. You can't say everybody's awesome all the time. At that point, it's just a rundown, and then why even watch the show if you don't want to hear somebody's commentary? That's why we're watching this, because we want to see commentary. We want Hillary to be an asshole. Please don't stop being an asshole, Hillary. We love it.
I'll try.
You're a comedian, goddammit. That's what you do.
That's it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to... Oh, it pains us to say it, but girl Haggard is leaving us. Bye, girl. We're going to have to sacrifice to the god of comedy.
Yeah.
And now to sacrifice Girl Haggard to the god of comedy, Ruthie Keister.
New animations by She Need This Gig. She really do.
Hi, this is Hillary. Hope you liked the episode. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you don't, well, we might just have to sacrifice you to the god of comedy.
Do you want to eat? Do you want to
Do you wanna kiki? Do you wanna kiki? Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, 1, 2, 3. Cult Wannakiki, Cult Wannakiki, Cult. Okay, that's enough.